Christmas is coming.
Santa's coming.
And if you're anything like me, you're probably super excited for the Christmas feast. It's not every day that you get to have your whole family together in one room, sharing a meal. But after you polish off your plate, you may realize that you feel really drowsy. So what is it that makes you so tired after your holiday meal? And could it be true that Christmas drowsiness is real? Hey everyone, and welcome back to NeuroscIQ, the best place on YouTube to increase your neuroscience IQ. If you want a nice topic of conversation for the Christmas dinner table, listen up, because we're going to give you answers for why your holiday meal leaves you feeling drowsy. The culprit always seems to be turkey, and it is true that turkey does contain a lot of tryptophan. Now, tryptophan is an amino acid.
One of 9 essential amino acids, actually.
So amino acids are responsible for building proteins in our body, and there are only a certain amount that we can make by ourselves. The rest of them have to be ingested. That's what an essential amino acid is. Tryptophan is one of those ones that we need to get from sources of food. And with a lot of it being in turkey, what happens when you eat the turkey is it actually, some of the tryptophan gets to your brain, where it is converted into serotonin and then melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. So, by eating turkey, people just made the conclusion that, you know what, if there's tryptophan in the turkey, then you're going to be tired, because tryptophan eventually gets turned into melatonin. But the thing is, only about 1% of the tryptophan that you ingest can actually cross the blood-brain barrier into the brain. The rest of it, so around 75 to 85%, is bound to albumin, which is a protein that keeps it flowing within the blood. In order for tryptophan to cross the blood-brain barrier, it needs to be released from albumin, but it also competes with other amino acids when it comes to crossing through the transporters on the blood-brain barrier. So you may be thinking, well, I don't actually eat turkey on Christmas. No foul, no harm, right? Wrong. Tryptophan is actually in lots of other foods. It's in chicken, salmon, oats, chocolate. There's also tryptophan in bananas, cheese, bread, chocolate, and lots of other foods. Nonetheless, when tryptophan is in the bloodstream, there are other large amino acids in the blood as well, such as histidine, isoleucine, leucine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tyrosine, and valine. These all compete with the transport across the blood-brain barrier. But one of the things that we do also do when we eat food on Christmas is we take in a lot of carbs and starch. Through increasing the amount of carbohydrates in our blood, we release insulin. Insulin is important for the uptake of sugars into your cells so that your body can use it for energy.
Insulin also increases the uptake of amino acids into the cells as well.
By doing this, we reduce the amount of amino acids that are competing with tryptophan to cross the blood-brain barrier. And so, by eating carbohydrates in combination with turkey, which is high in tryptophan, you can increase your drowsiness. But on top of that, studies have shown that if you just eat carbohydrates alone, this same effect occurs. You don't need to be ingesting tryptophan in combination with the carbs, because the carbs will still result in an increased amount of tryptophan compared to competing amino acids in your blood, allowing more tryptophan to cross the blood-brain barrier, get converted to serotonin, and then be converted to melatonin, which is responsible for sleep. On top of that, feasting activates your parasympathetic nervous system, and that is your rest and digest nervous system. So, just by eating food, your stomach stretches. That signals stretch receptors in the stomach, which signal your body to go into a state of rest and digest, which will cause you to feel drowsy and sluggish, because now we have blood flowing to your stomach rather than your brain. Interestingly enough, we can reduce the ratio of tryptophan to competing amino acids by consuming alcohol. But this doesn't mean that consuming alcohol is the solution to the problem. It doesn't mean that by drinking alcohol you'll be able to counteract the drowsiness, because alcohol is actually a GABA agonist, which means it activates GABA receptors within the nervous system, and GABA is the #1 inhibitory neurotransmitter of the nervous system. That means it's very important for sleep cycles, and when you sleep, your ventrolateral preoptic area is actually releasing a lot of GABA to inhibit the rest of the cortex. If you want to find more about sleep cycles, we talk about it a lot in this lecture, so if you want to click that link, the little eye in the corner, it will bring you to the video. So overall, it seems that in combination with high tryptophan foods such as chocolate, cheese, turkey, what have you, along with all the carbohydrates and starches that people consume on Christmas, and then on top of that, the depressant of alcohol, we're just concocting a nice recipe to put you to sleep. So now that I've equipped you with all that knowledge, this Christmas, when the host or hostess comes around with a cheese platter, you can tell them all about the tryptophan that's in it that might make them tired. When somebody offers you a glass of wine, you can tell them about its effects on the central nervous system and how it's a GABA agonist. And if somebody offers you another serving of mashed potatoes, you could politely decline and tell them you don't want to feel tired later. Then you can explain to them what exactly happens when you consume so much starch and carbohydrates. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Thanks again for watching us. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and have yourself a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday.